Hope you listen to the rest of the show and enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Be blessed. All right. We got a few more callers. I got a number of calls here in queue, so I'm going to try to get to those now. We have a caller calling from area code 513. Caller, 513 area code. You're on the line. Go right ahead.
Yes, this is Felipe.
Hi, Felipe.
Hey, Felipe. How are you?
Where you calling from?
Hey, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Very cool.
Cincinnati,
Thank you
Ohio.
for calling in.
Buckeye Nation. All right. How are you doing today, Felipe?
Fine, and you. And how about you, gentlemen?
We're doing well. I want to ask you a question, Felipe. Do you consider yourself to be what's categorized as a bad boy? Are you a bad boy?
At this stage in my life, I would say no, but I'd say for the majority of my life, I would say I would fall into that bad boy category.
Okay. So why do you think women? So do you think women had a lot of interest in you when you were portrayed yourself as a bad boy?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And why do you think that was the case?
Well, I think it's several reasons. One of the main reasons is that women are the opposite of men in a sense when it comes to dating. You know, a man wants that sexy librarian that he can hide from the world, you know, like that's his prize. And he can keep her kind of, you know, tucked away from everyone.
Right.
But women are the opposite. Women want that guy that, you know, the wild guy, and they want other women to see them tame that guy publicly.
Okay, that's interesting.
And yes, because, you know, women make a show of their relationship to other women. Like, you never see me as a man tell my woman to do a 360 spin in front of you like, bro, look at my woman. But when you look on social media, you always see women post a picture of their guy and say, look at him. Like, look at him, everyone. He's great, he's sexy, he's this, he's that. And what happens is when they see that bad guy, it becomes a challenge. Like, you know, such and such couldn't tame him. Such and such, she has a high position in life. She has a great career. She's great social status. She couldn't make him act right. Let me go give him a try and see if I can show all these other women that I can tame him and receive love from him.
And so what do you think happens when a woman finds out she can't tame the guy?
More times than often, she attacks him because it becomes like an insecurity. You know, he shows up a flaw in her. Like, you know, what is it about me or what don't I have as a woman that wouldn't make you act right?
So she feels less than.
Yes. And a lot of times the woman is doing far better than the guy, but she ends up feeling less than because she couldn't make a man who was technically on paper less than her behave.
So he outsmarted her in some way, like she wasn't smart enough to do what she thought she could. She couldn't do what she thought she could do. So so that's almost like a competition. Like she lost and he won.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. And she's competing to show the other women that she's that woman who's good enough to make the bad boy act right. And when you think about it in reverse, when we see a guy like Kanye West with Kim Kardashian or Wiz Khalifa with Amber Rose, it's almost like we attack them for that. Like, oh, he's trying to make a HOE into a housewife. He's stupid.
Right.
She's been with all these different people. They stupid. But on the flip side, when we see a woman, you know, trying to tame that bad guy, it's like she got him to settle down. That's how we look at it when it's a woman doing it. Like, oh, that's cute. She got him to settle down.
So if a woman were to make that attempt with 2 or 3 guys or more and fail each time, do you think she might start to have a bitter taste in her mouth about men?
Yeah, she would take what the bad guy does and equate it to men in general.
Okay. So then when she says, I'll leave the bad boys alone, and she meets a good guy, I don't know if you heard the show from the beginning. I was talking about how I learned to play tennis, and I played the wrong way, and I developed bad habits. And even when I didn't want to do it, I still had that bad habit. So she may develop bad habits, and when she meets the right guy, she still may not know how to relate to men now.
That's true.
And she may be bitter and kind of angry and upset. Blair, you have any thoughts about this?
No thoughts actually. I'm actually just sitting here. We're looking at the calls and everything. So, yeah, you guys are on it. So, what I'm gonna do, Felipe, if you don't mind, I'm gonna just keep you on the line for a minute and everything. I'm gonna take a couple of more calls if that's cool with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Awesome. Again, and you're calling from Cincinnati. Is that correct?
Correct.
I'm going to bring another person on the line, area code 205. Go right ahead, caller, area code 205. Go ahead and speak, please. Hello? Area code 205. Going once, going twice. All right. We are moving on. We are going to go to area code 504. Area code 504. You're on the line. Go right ahead, please.
Yeah.
Hello.
Area code
Hey,
504. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How's it going?
Good. How you doing today, sir?
Doing okay.
Awesome.
What's
Give
your
us
name?
your name, please, and where you're calling from.
The name is Elton, and I'm calling from Virginia.
All right.
From
Thanks
Virginia.
for calling, Elton.
Go right ahead with your either question or comment, Elton.
I noticed that you guys were talking about why do women choose the wrong guys, right?
Right.
So I think that it's been a question that's plagued the dating game since forever. I think it's an issue with the culture. I think rather than we glorify the guys that have money, the athletes, and even in some areas the drug dealers. So if these guys are heralded as almost like heroes, then obviously, they're looked at as a notch above your average guy. Now, your average guy could be a great guy. He could be hardworking. He could be, just an all-around, well-rounded, good guy. But he's not looked at in the same light as the other guys because he doesn't have that aura about him.
He doesn't have the edge about him. Absolutely.
Yeah, he doesn't have the edge. He's not viewed as having. He's not like spontaneous. He's not exciting. Because your normal 9 to 5 brother. No, go ahead.
Well, can I say something, Ted, real quick?
Sure.
Okay. I think what it is, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, whoever's listening. I think a lot of what it is that women kind of have a certain type of guy that they like, meaning that they want a guy to have edge, but they still want him to go and kind of they want him to go work a job and be as they call it, a corporate thug. Which, if you think about it in its actuality, is kind of an oxymoron. It's like you want this guy to be kind of hood, kind of street, kind of edgy and everything, but you want him to go and clock in at 8:01 every Monday morning and go and get that money. And it's like, is it really realistic to think that this guy is going to be, somebody who's willing to fuck, as they say from back in the day, bust his gap or do whatever, and then go and just kind of have a metamorphosis on Monday, and all of a sudden now he's, sitting there, punching the clock and talking amongst his coworkers. I don't really think those kind of guys actually exist. And so what a lot of women do is they would rather say, well, they just kind of have this delusion of, well, I'm just going to wait around for that. I want that kind of guy. And it's like, baby, those kind of men ain't really out there. They're very, 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 very far and few between. They're not really out there.
Right.
So, like Felipe said earlier, I think what happens with a lot of women is they go and try and get the guy who's, out in the streets wild or who has that edge, and they try to tame him. And that doesn't typically work. He has to kind of be in the mindset where he wants to get out of that lifestyle and out of that mindset. You can't be the impetus for that to happen. But again, that falls into, as Ted, as you and I have always talked about, what I call the Disney effect, that I can do all these wonderful things and I can love this man and get him off, get him out the street life and get him from doing all this wild stuff that he's doing. That doesn't happen. And so that's where you see a lot of women, bump their head time and time and time again. So that's my thought.
Right. Well, I liken it to.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It to what? No, go ahead. You liken it
to when you take a wild animal out of captivity. Okay. Out of the wild. When you take a wild animal out of the wild and you place him in the captivity. Okay, the animal is in captivity, but does that still not make it a wild animal?
Right. He's still.
You know what I mean? So are you?
Right.
Yeah. Right. Are you going to go into a cage with a wild animal after you've taken it out of the wild, even though it's still a wild animal? And I'm not comparing, these guys to wild animals. I'm just saying it's more like, they're adjusted to a certain environment, and that environment is not conducive to corporate America. It's just not. It's those skills are rarely transitional to corporate America. And I'm not saying that it's not possible. Obviously, you do have success stories of guys rising up out of the streets and going into corporate America, but that's like lightning in the bottle. It's not an everyday thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So I once had a woman say to me, I want a guy who can be a leader in the boardroom and a freak in the bedroom and be able to handle himself on the streets. And I mean, that's cool. But and Blair, to what you were saying, they're looking for this guy who's really rare. But kind of what I was alluding to the last woman who called from Alabama. If you want this guy who's that rare, he's rare, right? And most women are looking for him. What makes you think you as a woman have what it takes to be with that guy? You're all competing. You have 100 women competing for this one guy who's rare to find. That's one question. But if I take this to a more primal perspective, what if what women are really looking for is the thing that they just don't honestly admit to us, is they want a bad boy because they think they're going to get laid. They're gonna have great sex with this guy. He's gonna be aggressive, manly, passionate, and he's going to lay her down the way, like my man, you were just saying, like the wild beast that she got out of the wild, took out of the wild and brought her into her bedroom. Like, what if that's really what women are honestly looking for and hoping for? And yes, and they want the guy to be a good provider and all that, but what if it just comes down to sex?
But that's not really realistic.
Well,
it's not really realistic.
I don't think that it's more of. I don't think that's what it really is. I think that it's just more of conquering, taming the beast. If you can take a guy that was like a ladies' man, he was highly sought after, and you can be the one to, actually win him and be, claim him as a prize, and obviously you feel like you've accomplished something. But furthermore, when you talk about being a man, a husband, and a father, I mean, you got to look at the entire spectrum. Okay, so this guy may be popular. He may have had money. He may even look great. But okay, what is that? How is that going to make him provide for your children? How is he with finances? How is he on the emotional aspect of things? Can he take care of you and the family? You know those normally the type of guys that are highly sought after. You know, they don't really have those skills, or they don't really see the world in that light. And that's why I think, you know, we have a lot of women that are scorned from, you know, chasing guys like that. And then later on in life, when they realize that plan didn't pan out, it's time to go to the backup plan, which is normally the average guy. So,
well, and how many of those women will marry the average guy later in life and sneak around with the bad boy? Like, is she looking for excitement? Or
75% of them.
Is she looking for sex or just some excitement?
She said 75%. I don't know. I don't know about 75%.
I mean, that's a big number. Even if it's 10%, but there's still a percentage of women who will do that.
That's true. That is true. That's very true. I think that
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
No,
I think that
say,
you know the.
Yeah, please keep going. You think that what?
I think that the average guys do not. You know, when you let's just put it into perspective. When you're average, you know, even if you're college educated, no matter what, these guys are working hard, man. You know, they're out here busting their butts. They're actually making a way in the world. So you don't have time to perfect your skills in the bedroom. You don't have time to, you don't have time to pay attention to things like that. So that may be areas where these type of guys are lacking. Not saying that they're not, excellent lovers or whatever. I'm just saying that, you're making a way for yourself in the world. So you don't really have time to allocate to, attending to, emotional issues or things like that or sexual stuff. You're actually providing for your family. And I think that those guys aren't looked at as exciting versus a guy that's not doing that. He's not providing for his family. He's not making a way for himself in the world. All he does is party and, explore women. So of course he's going to be a great lover. He's not going to have anything else to offer.
Hey, Elton, Felipe, I appreciate it. Let me pause you guys for just a minute because we got 9 other callers, and some have been waiting for a while. So, yeah, hold on for just a minute. Let me grab.
All right.
Go ahead, Ted. What's up?
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Let's get these calls. This time is going to fly by.
Yeah, it is. Okay, hold on just a minute. We have area code 662 calling in.